Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so it's a lot of Lakers stuff to talk about. First of all, the two names that I couldn't remember from the video earlier were Herb Jones and Quincy Olivari. Those are the two names I could not remember to save my life. You would think with as much weed as I've smoked in this life, I would never forget Herb, but I did. So, yeah, that's Herb Jones. And I encourage you guys to check out the video. That should fill in the blanks for y'all. Herb Jones and Quincy Olivari were names I could not remember. We re-signed Jackson Hayes, 1 year, 3 year, $3 million deal. From what I understand, he has a de facto no trade clause on that. I don't know why that's there, but from what I understand, that's standard. That's for the type of contract that he has. That was just going to be how that goes. So he could veto any trade made for him, which is not ideal, I guess, at all. Really, given the fact that's he's a 1 year deal, so you want to be able to trade it at the trade deadline. You definitely want to be able to trade that, but it's only $3 million, so it ain't the end of the world. I think this does take us out of the Al Horford sweepstakes, which is I didn't have a whole lot of hopes for Al Horford at all. I said earlier I didn't think that he probably would choose the Lakers because he just came from the Celtics, won a championship with the Celtics. Probably sees himself as a Celtics lifer per se. Going to the Lakers is like betrayal. And so I didn't think that he would necessarily choose that. I think he's probably going to end up on the Warriors or retire. That's what I think he's going to end up doing. Probably retiring, honestly. What else is going on? Bradley Beal and Suns could be working out a buyout, which is great news for the Suns. He wants to come to the Lakers. He said he would welcome a trade to the Lakers. It's the only team he wanted to trade. You know, if he was to use his no trade clause, waiving his no trade clause, he'd do it to come here. Makes me feel great, but there was no way we were going to take on another no trade clause. We already have one with Brian. Why the hell would we take one with him? Not happening. That contract is cancer, and we don't want it. But just like Ayton, if he's going to get bought out, come on by, man. You just booster our team. We definitely would. You know, Ayton's not a problem as a player. I've never thought Ayton was a problem as a player. I just always see him on horrible contracts. He's spent his whole career on terrible contracts. That's all it is. But him on a vet minimum contract is probably the best contract in basketball. He's still a hell of a scorer. Now he can't defend very much, but like you put him on your team and immediately your ceiling increases. Just like when you put Ayton on your team, your ceiling is increased. You put Beal on your team, your ceiling is increased. So for me, this is a no-brainer. If we can get Bradley Beal on a dirt cheap contract, assuming a buyout takes place, that's obvious. It's a no-brainer. You sign him. You waive people to assure you can sign him. That's a significant upgrade just for our overall balance. So if he wants to be here, if we can get that contract up off him, if they're going to really buy him out, then yeah, I think there's no downside to signing Bradley Beal. No downside. None. You just bring him in, you slap him next to LeBron and Luka, and you enjoy the shots that he takes and expect for the injuries to come. Those are the two things you got to understand. Bradley going to get hurt. But when he's out there, he's going to be an elite scorer even as a role player. And so you slap him next to Bron and Luka, and you got open shots going to somebody who's likely to hit him. And so, yeah, that's huge. That would make that. To be honest with you, bringing Bradley Beal in would maybe make me think that we have a better chance of being a competitive team in the Western Conference this year. Now that don't mean I think we could beat the Thunder. I don't think we can even put anything together that can beat the Thunder. But bringing Bradley Beal in gives you a hell of a lot more confidence that your team is good than what it would be if he ain't on it. And so that's where we're at right now. I don't know if the Lakers are interested in Bradley, but Bradley said he want to come here. I don't see why we wouldn't be interested in that situation. Also, I want to reiterate that I think we should be going after Cole Anthony. If we can't get Bradley, I don't know how much money we still have left, but we do have some contracts that we need to be moving on from, some expiring contracts that people should want to absorb. Gabe Vincent, I'm sure we can move that. That shouldn't be too difficult to get rid of. I think that's like $11 million right there. Get that the hell out of here. We got some trade exceptions and stuff like that, so we should be able to maneuver. I would love for us to get rid of Maxi Kleber, but I just read somewhere that the Lakers believe in Maxi Kleber. I think that could be word posturing to make it so that we're not in a space where people can fleece us in the event we do try to trade Maxi Kleber. And it also gives us more leverage in the trade for a center, since we can say we have our third center. So we don't need to go overpay for Rob Williams or somebody like that, because we got Ayton, we just signed Jackson, and if push comes to shove, we can walk away from the table because we got Kleber. who could play the center. But the reality is, I think Kleber's washed. He's coming off a very serious injury, and I don't want him to play a single second. I don't ever want them to check him in the game, which means he needs to be stretched, waived, or traded. Period. And since he's an expiring contract, he should be traded. I'm sorry, Maxey. I'm not going to be pleased to see you on my team this year, bro. It ain't nothing personal. I just don't think you got nothing left. I saw you struggle before you got hurt. You got hurt. You're old. I'm cool, bro. Especially since my center position's been such a drag over the last several years. I need to make damn sure that every one of my centers can go. So I don't mind the Lakers re-signing Jackson Hayes $3 million deal. I don't like Jackson Hayes that much in the end. The fullness of what I saw from Jackson Hayes over the last 2 years has been very up and very down. But ultimately in the playoffs, he just was unplayable. Coach didn't trust him. That was just not a great show, but he did have some moments near in March where he really played well when we needed him to play well. He was a great lob threat for Luka for a while. He started to figure some things out to the point where people thought he was the answer. I remember Trevor Lane once said that, could Jackson Hayes potentially be the answer at center? I said, of course not. And we fast forward to where we are, and it's still, of course not. I was never a prisoner of the moment when it came to Jackson. I think his ceiling is what we saw. He can do that again since he's young, but majority of the time you just want Jackson to kind of just sit down, to be honest. That's what most teams are going to probably find out. Just like New Orleans told us, you're going to have him, and you probably just going to want him to sit down. So that's what it's going to be this year too. I want about 2 people ahead of him at that center position. Ayton being one of them and somebody else being another. Chris Boucher would be a great pickup for that role. That would be a nice player to add to our situation. He can stretch the floor some, especially that corner 3 is pretty wet at times. He can block shots. Not much of a rebounder from my understanding. Could be a bit older than maybe we're comfortable with. I think probably like 31 or something like that. I'm not really sure. But overall, I think if we can do a lot worse if we can grab him. He's finally leaving Toronto for the very first time. He's not a real stats guy, but he's definitely somebody who's going to block a few shots, grab a few boards, dunk a ball here and there, hit a corner 3 here and there. I think Chris Boucher would be very good for that backup role if we can't get someone to fill it. But I do need somebody ahead of Jackson Hayes, man. I do. I really do. I don't need. If Ayton goes down with an injury, now we're sitting up watching Jackson Hayes starting again. Then you haven't done your job if that's the case, Rob. You ain't done your job if that's the case, Rob. But I do respect that you made sure that at least he was there. That was your responsibility as well, to say things could fall apart and then we'd be left with only Ayton as the center, and then we'd be playing other people who shouldn't be playing the center position. The center, I don't think that would be a good option either. So this is a fail-safe. That way, if we strike all the way out with all of these centers, at least we got a lob threat that Luka feels comfortable getting the ball to in Jackson Hayes. We did see him play well with Luka on the floor. Luka loved to find him. You're not going to find too many pogo sticks. Jericho Sims went back to Milwaukee, unfortunately, so you probably needed to make sure that piece was in place. So I understand the reasons behind signing him. I would have done it as well. But I do need depth at the center position that we did not have last year. We cannot have a repeat of last year. We just cannot. So, yeah, that's another reason why I'm thankful Ayton signed with us, that the Blazers waived him. That was so very helpful for our situation, because, boy, would we be looking at some really tough situations right now at the center position if Ayton wasn't signed. So that's what's on my mind. What else is going on? I'm still reading stuff, even now, as recently as an hour ago, that Cam Whitmore is somebody that people think could really be in play for the Lakers. Jock Landale, I never say his name correctly. I think it may be Landale. I think that's where we landed on. Jock Landale was waived. He was going to have his money guaranteed by a certain date. I think it was like the 6th of this month. So they made damn sure they got him out of there before that. The Rockets did not. Look, I'm going to tell y'all something. Last year when they signed this guy, I told them they shouldn't have did that. He didn't play well, and they re-signed him to some contract that was a lot more than what he should have been paid. And I looked at that contract and I said, that is garbage, and it needs to be waived. And so we fast forward where we at. He had a terrible season. I I know people are saying the Lakers with the Lakers center, issues. Maybe we should take a look at Landale. I don't think Landale's an NBA player, y'all. I don't. I don't think he's an NBA player. He had some good moments with the Suns. But there's never going to be a moment where I'm telling JJ Redick to check him in. Just like Maxi Kleber, there's never going to be a moment where I'm saying, yo, check in to Landale. Don't ever check into Landale. No, he needs to be in China, y'all. I'm just going to be honest. That's my take on Landale. He in China. So, won't be picking him up if I have a choice. No, I'd rather play Jackson Hayes, if I'm being completely honest with you. So, with that being said, he did come off the books, but there's still, thanks to, as it stands, breaking this down in one of his contents, they still are about $2 million above the threshold, the tax threshold. So you got to stay under that in order to be able to maneuver the way the trade that they've agreed to with Dorian, or the signing of Dorian. In order for that to get done, they still got to remove basically Cam Whitmore's salary. And with this 7-deal trade that we were talking about this morning, 7 teams, that trade cannot effectively get done based on the stuff till Sunday. Based on all the junk, you're not going to know that trade is done till Sunday. But from what I understand, based on the stuff that I'm reading from sources that seem to be reliable, that trade and the framework is already agreed upon. They just can't execute it till Sunday. So that's really what it comes down to. Cam Whitmore is going somewhere, or maybe another player. If it's not Cam, if they find they can keep Cam Whitmore, maybe they move Aaron Holiday or something like that. I think Aaron Holiday's name I heard maybe the other option. But I think the problem is Cam Whitmore is likely going to leave in free agency or something. I don't know what the situation is, but it seems like the Rockets would probably be safer to move Cam in this situation for whatever reason. So the Lakers have interest, and from what also, as it stands, said, if they move Cam to any of the other 6 teams, they likely won't get anything in return for him. But the Lakers are willing to throw in something to get Cam Whitmore. I don't know if that's necessarily true, though, because Cam Whitmore holds some value in this league. So I can't imagine. My skepticism about this Cam Whitmore thing is I just don't know. First of all, it's two things. One, everything we talked about in regards to Dorian Finney-Smith and that whole situation, if it was true, maybe he has a gripe with us. Maybe he wouldn't want us to get Cam Whitmore. Maybe he would tell them and try to keep him from going to the Lakers. Maybe they look at it and say, we're in solidarity with who we're signing. We're not going to send him to the Lakers. If any of that was true, that was one concern. The other concern is Cam Whitmore does have some value in this league. There are teams in this league that want Cam Whitmore. So it shouldn't be hard for them to kind of bid him up. I heard the Nuggets are interested. The Washington Wizards should be interested. I think it was another team, maybe the Chicago Bulls. I don't remember who the other team was, forgive me. But there are teams out there who value Cam Whitmore. And so I think they could probably get a bidding war going for him in a separate deal if they want to. But for whatever reason, with the situation as is, you got 7 teams held up trying to make this 17 trade going with all these different signings attached to it. Maybe, hopefully, for our sake, they just throw him into this deal to assure that they don't hold anything up or mess anything up. But the NBA is very fluid. You can find a lot of different ways of getting things done. It's nothing to get on the phone and say, hey, do you want this person? Give me something. Yes, and that'll be it. So I'm not really sure how all that works. But I do have some skepticism that we actually will walk away with Cam Whitmore. But I'm hopeful. I'm prayerful even. I want Cam Whitmore on this team. So let's see what happens. But I just think Cam Whitmore is severely underutilized by the Houston Rockets, as we talked about in my previous video earlier today. And I think we have a real role for him here. I think we could really utilize that dude. He'd be one of the first people off the bench, and in the coming seasons, him and Adu Thero would be monsters on the defensive end and in explosive dunking the ball together. It's going to be scary to have them two on the same team at the same time. Just like it could have been scary if the Rockets had a vision for that type of athleticism, because they certainly had in Naaman Thompson, Green, and him. 3 of the best leapers in the game, but they had ideas to keep old men on their team. They want it to be jump shooters. The Rockets are the Rockets. I don't care about them. But the point is, the vision that I thought the Rockets would have had, if they had any damn sense at all, would be the vision I now have in place in mind with Thero and him on the same team. It's explosive heaven in purple and gold. Like, it's gonna be dunkathon all night long, fast breaks all night long, ridiculous, wild shot blocking and stealing of the ball all night long. That type of athleticism is absolutely what the Lakers have been lacking for since Shaq left, basically. I don't remember. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think the Lakers have had too many explosive players like that. We've had some, we really have, but not too many. And Shannon Brown comes to mind. The dude Johnson, even though he was kind of a role-playing scrub, he was super explosive. He could dunk like crazy. I think about who else was mighty explosive? Larry Nance, Larry Nance when he was a kid. Basically, when he was a youngster on our team, he was super explosive. Julius Randle had some explosiveness, but not to what I'm thinking about. But like, we talk about guys who could fly out of the gym and run all over the court and speed all over the place. In my lifetime, I've been a Laker fan for 30 years. We ain't really had too much of that, man. Like, just period. We really haven't. Obviously, Kobe and Shaq. But I'm talking about guys that are born to leap. Guys that fly out of their gym all the time. We didn't really... those guys are on other teams most of the time. And so, that's why I just would love to see some of that in purple and gold for a live-long change. Like, literally. So yeah, man, that's why that's one of many reasons why I think Cam Whitmore is somebody to grab, and that's another reason why I'm so excited about Abdul Thero, because I know what these two can do. I know exactly how athletic they are. It's going to be crazy to have them both out there at the same time. It's going to be nuts. And you talk about what Luka does with athletes like that, lobbing them the ball and stuff like that. It's going to be a highlight reel for which of the likes of which we have not seen in a long time. So Abdul's already going to bring a lot of that. But getting Cam Whitmore, it's an entirely different level even then. I think Cam Whitmore might be even more explosive than Abdul. I think he might be. So you talk about guys that can win the dunk contest in your uniform. We don't get that very often. And so I want the Lakers to do everything they can to get Cam Whitmore. I just don't know that the Rockets are going to help us do that, or if it's realistic. And getting our hopes up is kind of something we tend to do, and then we fall flat and we're unhappy. I don't want that. So just tell everybody, we'll see what happens on Sunday, man. We'll see what happens on Sunday. But so far, I am very pleased with what we've been able to do with the $14 million that ultimately Dorian would have wanted from us. This is what I mean by having creativity. People get on Rob Pelinka about a lot of things, but I think he's been fairly creative here. Some of that stuff fell in his lap, to be honest with you. You don't expect Ayton to be available, and you don't expect Ayton to take $8 million a year. So that didn't require a whole lot of creativity. But to have Zach LaRavia be what the other money is about, I think we did good, man. I think we did good there. Jackson Hayes, $3 million is not a horrible contract. I personally think two things about Jackson. One, he's a really good lob threat for Luka, and Luka was able to show us what he could do with him. But I also wonder if not for that dynamic, would he be somebody that anybody would want? How much of that was Luka making him look good, and how much of that was him being good? I don't really know. He has some things about his game, and we've been breaking it down for 2 years. He's been on the squad now for 2 years. He can steal the ball a bit better than people think he can. He's a hell of an offensive weapon as it pertains to field goal finishing around the rim. He's one of the best out there at that. But he just comes and goes with his focus. Screen setting could be hit or miss. Fouling uncontrollably. At times, he just fouls himself out of the game. It gets to a point where it's like you just don't know that he has the basketball aptitude to really contribute as much as you like him to. That's really what it comes down to. He just want to be a lot sharper, and just not that. But all in all, Jackson Hayes is back. That's really what it comes down to, and I'm sure there'll be nice lobs coming his way from Luka to Don at some point. So that's what it is, especially if we can't get another center to stand in front of him. What else is going on, man? So yeah, I ain't heard no rumors about the Lakers wanting to talk to Cole Anthony or Cole Anthony being interested in the Lakers. That's just me saying I know he's out there, and I want us to take a look at him. I want to see our name under people who are interested in Cole Anthony. That's all I'm saying. I don't know that it's likely he's going to take a deal with us. I'd imagine he's going to want to go somewhere and have a multi-year deal. But I don't know if he's played enough lately to really earn that from anybody. He probably is more than likely to take on a one-year deal like some of these other guys in his caliber and just try to get a one-year opportunity to show what he can do. As to which I think he should probably look for a place that really could use him probably more than we can, to be honest with you, since we do have Luka in Austin. But he would bring so much of a dog to our situation. He is a dog, one of the better dogs out there at the point guard position. He's really, really talented. He could do a lot of things in the box score when given consistent minutes, and I just don't think he's been given enough for that. So Orlando had a lot of guards the whole time he's been there, and I just think he's one of those guys, just like Cam Whitmore, just like Jonathan Kuminga, just like several other young players, where as soon as they get to a place where they can stretch out a little bit, a place that actually needs what they do, they really show you that they have much more of a ceiling than what they were able to display in the situations they were in. So that's why I want Cole Anthony. I think he's probably going to be a fantastic return on value if you put him on the floor and let him play some real minutes. He's so much better than Orlando showed. So that's what I see there. I've always thought that about him. He's finally out of Orlando, and I hope his next stop is here. So, yeah. And I think we need another point guard. As I said, our point guard position is looking rather scarce, man, and it doesn't look like we're interested in point guards, which is scaring me a little bit. DeAnthony Melton coming off the knee injury. He's a 2. We always find ourselves getting these 2s masquerading as 1s. I don't know why we have a sight for these type of players. Gabe Vincent, Bronny James. There's another one we got on our roster too. They ain't no damn 1. There's several of these dudes. They're like, they're not 1s. Rob, these guys are not 1s. If a player is 6 feet, let's say 6'1", 6'2", but he doesn't facilitate to anybody, he's looking for his own shot, that's not a point guard, bro. It's not. I don't care what nobody say. If this guy can't facilitate and he's short, he's a short 2. DeAnthony Melton, short 2. Bronny James, short 2. Gabe Vincent, short 2. Bradley Beal, Avery Bradley, short 2. Kendrick Nunn, short 2. We always find these dudes. We always bring them to us, have them masquerade as 1s, and then end up playing me ball with them on the floor because they looking for their shot and nobody else's. I don't want any more of these dudes on my team. No disrespect to any of them. They're a nice archetype or whatever. I prefer the facilitator, connective piece. I prefer the guy who's going to be able to at least get 6-7 assists a night, who thinks, hey, let's get the ball to other people. And so I think Cole Anthony has a lot of real 1 in him. Even though he does look for his own shot, he can get a bunch of assists as well. He does think point guard. But I'm tired of us bringing us these dudes that they're my height, but all they want to do is shoot, man. No more. And then let's make him a 1. No, this dude, he doesn't even know a good pass. When he see one, no, he don't have no floor vision at all. He don't have no feel for the pass. No. These people are not point guards. They're just short. So let's get that through our skulls and stop targeting these people, please, man. Facilitators, ball movement, playmakers, have a vision for it. So that's what I gotta say. That is very important to our overall connective offense, especially when you bring yourself pieces like Ayton and stuff like that. Luka go down with an injury, all of a sudden everybody's looking for their own damn shot, and you don't have no continuity. I don't want that. Austin, with respect to him, he's also a 2 masquerading as a 1, but he's not short, so it makes it more imposing, and he does facilitate, so he's not a deficiency of his. But some of these dudes, like Gabe Vincent, that's a deficiency of his. He don't even know. He don't run no offense. Like, that's not what he do at all. I think we could turn Bronny into a point guard, but nobody seems to see the fruit in actually doing that. So it's like, that's why I was so pissed at us last year in the summer league, because we didn't put the ball in his hands. We put the ball in some dude's hands we don't even have as a part of our future. We kept giving him the ball, and he kept doing stuff for himself. I was like, yo, this dude ain't even part of what we doing. Sit him down and bring Bronny in and put the ball in his hands and force him to make plays for other people. Like, that's what we should be doing. But I don't know, man. Whatever. Either way, that's what I want people to do. Start looking for point guards, actual point guards. I'm excited about Marciulionis, but we have a long way to go, as we said earlier, in regards to knowing if he can actually do that and getting him on a contract that'll make it so that he can. Quincy Olivari, I like him, but he's a 2. See what I'm saying? We got 2s, and he's not even on the Summer League roster. Yo, why is Quincy Olivari not on the Summer League roster? What are we doing? Why is he not there? Why is Traore not on the Summer League roster? I see Darius Bazley on the Summer League roster. Y'all know damn well Darius Bazley's not a part of our future, man. You know that, and I know that. He's not a part of our future, fam. This dude's been in the league for 10 years. I was telling y'all to take a flyer on Darius Bazley 10 years ago, and he's on our Summer League roster. No, man. That needs to be Quincy Olivari. Stop playing. Anyway, these are the type of things I'm talking about. I want to see a better show from our Summer League roster. Last year, I thought we did things absolutely backwards, and we sucked because of it. I didn't like the coaching in the Summer League. I think we need a different coach this year. It's very important. Let's take this seriously, man. We have guys who need to groom. We have guys who need to see something out of. We got guys who want to know if they can actually be a part of our future. I do not want us putting the ball in some random point guard's hands that ain't got no kind of talent, running us into the ground like we did last year. That was a nightmare. I don't even remember what his name was, but I definitely don't want to see him out there this year. These are things that I'm very, very intent on telling all of y'all, because I remember how much I was disgusted with Summer League last year. It was trash. We sucked, and we didn't have to. We were just using people the wrong way. So these are things I'm serious about, man, going into Summer League. I think the games start probably within the next couple of days. I want Quincy Olivari on that damn roster. BDL 44. I thank y'all for watching.